This is a good old-fashioned American trait called improvising. I'm doing the best I can with the materials I got. This computer doesn't have a camera on it.
I can't really talk much here. I'm in Starbucks.
From February 9th, 2018.
I stayed with King and Leah down in Lee, South Denver. It was difficult for me. I was supposed to pay $75 a month for rent for the garage. I paid $200. That way utilities were covered. I also paid an additional $400 because they needed it.
I'm going to stop there by adding that what I ended up paying altogether was $75 a month in utilities and $200 for rent. And part of it where I talk about how they took my money for stuff that they were supposed to buy over the internet. They took my 3D goggle set thing back into where I bought it because it wouldn't work for the Yamato thing at the time. Just 2 weeks later they came out with it so that the Oculus Rift would work with it. But I had to get something different at the time because they hadn't come out with the Oculus Rift version. That was supposed to help me with sensory overload issues. Basically something I could plug into and ignore anything and everybody, and try to ground and center myself. I checked my finances, and there was a lot of money spent then. I had just spent the money to invest in moving everything from Chapel, Nebraska to Ken and Leah's, and I'd been at Ken and Leah's since July of 2017, and I'd been paying rent every month. It was actually the first time that I was paid up several months ahead of time even.
They needed it to cover their bills because they were broke. The problem is they wouldn't talk to me one-on-one when I told them, hey, I don't understand unless you talk to me one-on-one. When I said that, can you stop talking to me one-on-one? I can't talk to Leah. She's a fucking cheerleader. I got to see where my money went. It went to Leah. It all went to Leah.
And here's something about Leah. Leah had a daughter who was killed by a vehicle a year earlier. That's how Ken ended up losing his kids, is they were stepping over the stain that used to be their sister every day. Imagine that. Ken didn't want those kids going through those emotions every single day on their way to school. That's no way to start your day. And so they went to stay with their mother, and it was a really messed up situation is what it was. Ken and Leah were messed up, as far as their situation. Leah was definitely messed up mentally. That's her daughter who died. But like I said, desperate people do desperate things.
So that she could have pretty cheerleader shit. I didn't do that. I didn't choose that. She's pretty. She has a family. That was my decision. In addition, Ken was supposed to order some things for me online. It's an additional $600. $1,200. So that was just before Miss Natalie called me and wanted to meet up. Texted me.
Now, I was also paid up on rent 3 months ahead.
So I met with her. So she wasn't there. I walked 100 blocks. I walked from all the way down to Ken and Leah's, all the way up to the bus stop, 44th and Federal. And I took that bus to 112th and Federal. That was on the 16th.
Actually, you stopped at like 95th or 96th, I believe.
2 videos. A couple of the streets that I stopped at. And finally got to...
Those are on the computer that was taken.
Well, with a friend I was staying with when I found out Natalie was killed.
I believe I have it on this one too, though.
2 weeks later. Now here's the thing. This is exactly the location that Natalie wanted to meet. I wanted to meet at the cop shop. I was tired of the harassment.
Actually, in this video, I'm sitting in the very seat that I was sitting in when I was handed the protection order almost 2 months earlier.
Bullying and being assaulted. I didn't have a safe place to go. Everyone kept ripping me off because they get to yell at me 3-on-1. It's fine. I must have wanted it, needed it, deserved it. They did wrong. They did wrong. Now, I understand they were overwhelmed and they were in a tough situation, but I didn't get any of my stuff back. I don't have anywhere to put my stuff. And they're uncomfortable with me because I exposed them. Well, fuck them. I didn't do bad shit to them. I had all my money disappear, and I had to ask them, hey, where did my money go? Well, we spent it on stuff for us. We shared it with you, though. Well, that would have been nice to know. It would have been nice to be informed instead of Dawn, Leah, and Ken yelling at me in the kitchen. Once you get that stern tone, that tells me that you're no longer listening to what I have to say. You're looking for a response. You've got your own stuff already going in your head. You're not hearing a word I have to say. That's why you're dismissive. And it's that dismissiveness of my voice, the things that I have to say that hurt so much. I left there, and I went to go see a friend of mine in Aurora. It's not wrong with me to leave a situation where I was being victimized because people could get away with it. Because I didn't have someone to stand there next to me by my side and witness that that's what was happening. So I must be wrong because it's 3-on-1. No, I'm right because it was 3-on-1. They knew they needed to talk to me 1-on-1, and Ken needed to be the one that talked to me because he's the one that had my money. Not Leah, not Dawn.
And that's true as well.
Them sitting there and making decisions. I walk into the room, I can hear my voice. I can hear my voice when I speak.
And that right there is signs. They're my vocal cords. Of course I'm going to hear my voice. So I know that I'm speaking at that point in time. Just like any other human being, it's not a complicated process.
When I walk into the room and they're having a conversation about me, yeah, I can hear it from the kitchen. It's not like I'm completely deaf. They're having a civil conversation, making decisions about me and about my money. But the moment I walk in, they change the subject, or they just talk over each other. They all talk over me, every one of them in that household. With the exception of the one who's autistic. Me and him got along just fucking fine. Because he understands that being shut down, shut out, having his voice taken away. Go to your room, go to your room, go to your room. I suggested a lot of places. This right here, Starbucks at University of Broadway. Because I'm not allowed in the one on Fell Street. At the time, I just didn't want to go. I didn't feel comfortable there.
Yep. I got kicked out of that Starbucks after Natalie died. Because the police came in there to harass me. That wasn't the only place that it happened. It happened several other places over the next few days.
I got kicked out of there because Natalie died. The police came in and harassed me. So that I couldn't charge my phone. I had nowhere to go. This is where Natalie wanted to meet. This is where she said to me, I needed my panic attack to end, so I walked
I wanted to meet at the police
blocks with a messed
station.
up foot and a messed up back. Come to see her, she was going to put an end to all this bullshit, or so she claimed. When I got here, it was an officer and paperwork, and they didn't even try handing it to the right guy. I had to say, hey, no, over here to me. And I took it and I set it next to me. And when I left, I put it in my bag. That's the thing, it's easy to victimize me. It is. I don't have a safe place. I don't have people that I can trust. I have anxieties. A friend that I was staying with in Aurora, yeah, she lives with her mom. After the cops dragged her down to the top shop on the 29th, yeah, her mom didn't want me there. The other thing is, I got a call at like 6 o'clock according to the lady that I was staying with. 6 o'clock on the 28th that she was missing. According to this article I was just reading,
I was staying
she
with
was
Miss
last seen
Peaches.
at 1 o'clock that day, so she had been missing for 5 hours when they called me. The first thing I did was try finding her. You guys are sick in the head. You're sick in the head to think that this kind of treatment of another human being is okay because they're not pretty, because they're old. I'm the same age as Ted Volunteer, just a few months younger. I look out for people, I keep them safe. There wasn't anybody like that for me when I was a kid. Least I can do is do that for you. Give you a voice. Who's going to give me a voice? Who stands next to me in real life to prevent these things from happening? To say, hey, no, this guy's a human being. It's not okay to do these things. Yeah, Maddie wasn't there to do that. Ken and Leah weren't there to do that. Nobody was there to do that. They threw me to the wolves. Told me I wanted it, chose it, or deserved it.
The help I needed was just a safe environment. Miss Peach's environment was the only environment that I knew was safe. A-Bear was not there at the time, and he was most of my attention over there prior to that. The problem was just it wasn't Peach's place. When I show you guys how much people did for me, people did a lot for me. There's a lot of people who were basically at the Department of Redundancy department, telling me to go to the same places that I've already been, telling me to call places that I've already called. I've already called some of these places at least 50 times while people are sending me their numbers like I've never seen them before. And I'm trying not to get frustrated, but I need people to go in with me in person, and I need a safe environment. And at this point, you know, I'm literally right after this video I get kicked out of Starbucks because they're pretty sure that the police are looking for me. This is the day after they caught Joseph Michael Lopez. I mean, this is the day after I found out anyway. And this guy in Starbucks was ill-informed.
Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to be cheated by their friends, especially friends who should know better. Especially friends
Talking
who claim
about
to
Ken and
understand.
Leah.
Autism isn't a mental illness. It's the way that you treat people that's the mental illness. You are mentally ill. Your cruelty is mentally ill. Your excuses for this are mentally ill. You guys are sick in the head. Your whole society is. And you blame me. That's not my fault. then I get to read all this stuff about how y'all think I'm blaming pretty girls for rape. No, that's you going out of your way to twist shit. It is never okay to rape somebody, ever. Not under any circumstances. And blaming the victims of such things,
Teresa
like they're the
Masulia.
ones who are doing it.
Look her
You
name
guys
up.
are the ones with the sickness, not me.
Alright, so that was really tough to handle. And all throughout I've had communication issues and issues with shutting down and melting down from the abuse and the abusive environments. They're just too loud. And that's what I've been trying to show. Not that these people were evil people, because they're not. It's the fact that they're all in super stressful situations. I'm in a super stressful situation, and it's not that they didn't care. It's not that they weren't trying how they wanted to try. But the fact is, I needed my place in chapel back, and I couldn't because of the assault at the border hospital. Thanks to the border police department. See, there's many points along this where somebody actually taking the time to look at this, one police officer, one FBI agent, one Secret Service agent, one public pretender, one judge, one lawyer, one prosecutor, one DA, just one of these people to look at this stuff that I'm bringing in person because I don't know how to show it on the internet. I don't know how to do the whole email thing to send it at this point. I finally learned how, but I mean, it's not been easy. And with evidence keeping on disappearing, it's a good thing a lot of it is backed up here on my Facebook. I mean, I told these people's stories because they happened. I told the story of DJ and Desiree. I'll pop that one up here. Alright, let me leave you with one last little memory here. This is from July 17th, 2015. This is before I hurt my back as well. It says, I have a problem with cops beating and killing unarmed civilians. I have a much bigger problem with these cops getting away with it, and a bigger problem still with it being written into law as acceptable. But the biggest problem I have with the whole thing is that I keep hearing about these good cops who do good things, but they aren't protesting these murders. Instead, they are arresting, beating, and shooting the people who are speaking out. Support good cops if you can find them. The Constitution isn't just a piece of paper. It is everything this country was founded on, and I'd rather have an innocent cop killed than a peaceful protester. If the cops aren't part of we the people, they are saying they are not people, and as a result do not deserve the rights which we the people are supposed to be afforded. Life is hard without having to fear for your life from those whose job was once to serve and protect. That was from before Natalie died. I don't know which direction to put this. Screw it, it don't matter.